Chelsea's terrific turnaround in that second half at Selhurst Park, their 13th consecutive Premier League win against Crystal Palace. And Glenn, it took them just 80 seconds of the second half, after an 8-minute delay, we should say, after some technological problems. Only Palace will know if that upset their concentration levels.
Well, they will do, yeah. Listen, it didn't do anyone any good, either team. But obviously, I think half-time was a big half-time for Pochettino. He would have had a little pop at them players. For the way they were playing first half just wasn't good enough for Chelsea. They come out with a different intent. They come out on the front foot, bodies full. We didn't see that all first half. Look at the bodies in the box there. And Gallagher managed to get in. He plays in that more advanced role in that midfield position, but he's the type of player that's got to arrive in the box, exactly like we've just seen him arriving in that box. There was a little bit of a mix-up here with Palace. I mean, I think Anderson's trying to drag as it Warburton across there as a centre-back. The centre-backs are all over the place. He got dragged out. But in the end, it's a lovely little pullback, and what a great finish. There's too much space there. The midfield player's gone in as a centre-back. And at the end of the day, that little hole there where Gallagher's got to arrive, if he plays in that position, I'm saying to him all day long, you get in the box, you get in the box, you wait for that second ball or the first ball. But his finishing tonight was absolutely spot on.
Not easy to keep that down, was it? It was a lovely finish. I thought that was a great goal. The first two goals in this game were exceptional. I thought that was a great goal. Chelsea moved the Palace defence around, took a couple of players out, and as the graphic showed there ended up a big channel because Wharton was used as a centre-half and he wasn't in his rightful place, and then that big area to pull the ball back. In fact, there was two goals, weren't there? The first two goals for Chelsea, we were saying, are Crystal Palace over-covering here? They're getting back behind the ball, but they were susceptible to the pullback, which happened again on the second goal.
Yeah, and let's have a look at that second goal. And I've got a professional question for you. When Raheem Sterling's on the ball as a midfield player, could he be stopped in some way here, Tom?
Yes, I think so. In a professional manner, you're right. A professional foul, a mature foul, and I'm sure Roy Hodgson's teams are known for it a little bit. You've got to be clever, you've got to be cute, especially if Sterling gets away from you. Like I follow myself, I want to foul him, so there's no way I'm catching him in a million years. And yeah, I think Lerman's going to be kicking himself. Roy might mention it a little bit. And you could be a little bit harsh on Lerma. He does it overcover and he just can't. Then he realises that he's a bit far away and he hasn't got time to get close enough to Gallagher to get anything on it to block the shot. But I don't want to take anything away from Gallagher. It's two fantastic finishes.
We don't want to condone sort of, professional fouls, let's say. If it's in the 30th minute, 60th minute, you don't do it. That's the 91st minute. They're about to break. You get two opportunities. A little tug back of the shirt or something. I know it's not nice to see. It's not nice to say, actually. But the reality, Steve, is this is really important. You do something, you get a yellow card there. Yeah. I mean, and you get a point. It's quite naive, I'd say.
Especially when they were so stretched as well. If your back four was intact quickly, but they weren't. They've gone up, they've got caught on the counter, and when you're stretched, that's the moment to make the professional foul. As Michael's spot on, you don't want to say it and you don't want to see it, but as a professional, if you come in and you've got a draw, that's what you want. You've got a point on the ball rather than nothing after all the hard work Palace put in. So it's the name of the game. It's got to be done.
If you'd not done it, your manager's going to say, why didn't you do it, is he?
The players are as well. Yeah. The defenders are. You've got to look who it is. It's not... Maybe if it's Enzo, I don't know, I could catch him, get around him, but Sterling, you've got all that grass behind you, there's not a chance I'm trying to take that chance. No way. It's too powerful, too strong.
What about the way Enzo Fernandez wrapped it up? I mean, he wasn't taking it to the corner here, the way he sat down the defender and the goalkeeper.
Well, it was again on the break again. Look, they'd send everyone up, rightly so. Palace have got to take a chance. A set play, look, one pass forward, and look at the space they've got. So they're now 2v2, and then now it becomes 3v2, really. Look, he makes so much ground up. But I love this. This is an 8-a-side goal. This is like an 8-a-side goal. When you're playing 8-a-side, no offsides, and he's chopped it back on the defender, but it's a fabulous run from Palmer. He keeps his head, he's waiting, and there it is. There's the little chop back there. I'll dummy once, I'll dummy twice, I'll put it in the top corner, shall I? Fabulous finish, it really
just class. Just class, isn't he? Absolute class. He's going to do it. In fact, I was shouting, pass it at one stage, and then he took his time.
Just like you would have done.
And another 5 minutes later, he's still shimmying, and then he puts it in. But he's absolute top class.
And for Chelsea, as you just said, it suddenly see themselves in the top half, looking upwards, a few points off West Ham and Newcastle all of a sudden.
Yeah, as you say that, yes, of course, that's how they'll look at it. But that, over 90 minutes plus, that wasn't good enough.
Have they played well for 90 minutes this season?
Well, probably against some of the top teams they have, actually. Arsenal, Man City, Villa, as we said, in the Cup. They look like, they're in one Cup final. They're going to have a run in the FA Cup as well. So, that consistency is not there. If I'm the manager, I'm delighted I've got 3 points. But I'm looking at over 90 minutes plus going, you know what, lads, that isn't good enough. Against better opposition or against Palace with their full team today, we might have been out of the window. First half, it might have gone. So at the end of the day, there's still room for improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but isn't it amazing what a couple of weeks, a couple of results, as you say, they're in the final of one cup competition. They're in the FA Cup still with a draw against Leeds in the next round. They're now in the top half and only a couple of points away from, being 7th or something in the league. All of a sudden, if they win another couple of games in the Premier League, you're thinking, wow, this is a good season for Chelsea. They could win a cup, could win 2 cups, and they could be in Europe. It's big progression. So it's a huge end to the season, let's say. There's a dozen or so games now that are going to shape their season, and it could be a good season considering all that's been thrown at them.
Yeah, well, Palace, of course, were halfway to a huge win for them. Let's get some reaction from their dressing room. Here's their midfielder, Will Hughes.
It was Roy Hodgson's 200th game in charge of Crystal Palace. Obviously, there is pressure on him at the moment, but how much do all you players support him?
Yeah, you can see by the performance tonight, the fight and the desire, commitment that's shown from the team against a top quality side. We've been matching them for most of the game, and so like I said, those fine details that swing results in different ways, and that's what happened tonight.
Just finally, hasn't been an easy season, but what can you say about the home support tonight?
They've stuck with us, It's frustrating when we're not picking up results, but you'd like to think that the fight we're showing, they appreciate that, and that's why they stuck with us to the end tonight.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Yes, and as I say, they are still 5 points above the drop zone. But you mentioned right on full time what Will Hughes was saying there. Nothing to show for it, but they didn't play badly tonight.
No, listen, it's easy for me to say, but I think for a Crystal Palace fan, you've got to be proud of the way they've played today. I mean, decimated by injuries. Their 2 best players are out.
Well, 3 with Gahey, really.
There's a little bit of discontent around the place at the moment. They're wanting a little bit more, but you cannot fault the fans, their reaction. They were with their team the whole way through. You can't fault the players and the way they played and the shift that they put in as well. So, yes, I'll be disappointed with the result, but there's a lot to be proud of there. I mean, it was injury time that they lost the game, and it's disappointing. 1 or 2 little things they could have done to prevent that, maybe. But the one thing you demand as a fan is you want your players, you want your team trying their best, running round, trying their best, and you cannot label anything against Crystal Palace players from that point of view.
And you've been down there. Suddenly at half-time they were 8 clear. Now they're back to 5, looking over their shoulders.
Yeah, that's the Premier League. Like we said, that Chelsea's kind of season could turn in 45 minutes there. At half-time, we're talking about, oh my God, what a bad season for Chelsea, what a bad game. 45 minutes later, we're talking in the top half. They're in 2 cup competitions. They can catch West Ham. It's how fast things change in football, and it's no different. There's no different down the bottom of the league. And and also Crystal Palace scored an amazing goal as well. Do you know what I mean? They have little plus things. And as Michael said, they was there for 90 minutes. They lost to a £1 billion team in the 90th minute, so it's not all negative.
Yeah, without Eze, without Elise, but they still had Lerma doing this, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't all come off for him in the first time, but, he's got himself up. And I said at half-time, he was brave, because there's a lot of players after doing that, messing that first one, he could have just slid it to someone else, but he's hit an absolute peach, isn't he? He's just cut across it. There's a little bit of swerve on it as well. This is the one he look away now type of thing. But then he gets up, ball comes back to him. This is poor play from Chelsea. It really is sloppy. But what a fabulous, fabulous strike. It's straight through the ball. With them balls nowadays, the modern ball, they fly. Terrific strike.
This is going just to the left of the goalkeeper to start with, but then as soon as it's about halfway through, around now, I think it starts fading away. You do get a lot of fade, a lot of different types of swerves with these balls, especially if you hit it like as cleanly as that. But so I don't pin any blame on the goalkeeper at all. I just thought it was an incredible strike.
You can see the fixtures behind us. There's a lot of people in football, and Tom's probably the same. You can look at the next game, but the next game is next Monday night away at Everton. That, given the plate, looks absolutely massive.
I think the next two are huge. I think they'll be looking to try and get 4 points minimum, really, out of them next two games. But yeah, listen, Roy's as experienced manager it gets. The players have been in that position before. Crystal Palace seem to not always, but they're around about it and then get out of it through a little bit of class, and I think they could do it again.
Yeah, Roy's been brought in before in this exact position, hasn't he?
Yeah, and they're finding themselves back in that position again. But look, they've got that Forest, Luton as well down there. Out of them 6, Everton, they're 6-pointers. They win them games, or they don't get beat at all. They win some and get some draws. They're now going to put themselves in a really strong position, but they need their key best players back. There's 3 of them out of their spine today. And they can't go too many games without having them players out. Then they're going to be under pressure, because I don't see them getting results without them guys.
Small steps forward for Chelsea, though. Positive ones.
Positive, lots to look forward to. I think if you're a Chelsea fan now, it's been doom and gloom for a long time, but now I think you've got cup competitions to look forward to, and you're starting to look up instead of down.
Brilliant. Tom, great to see you. Thanks very much. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot.
Ben and Michael, as always. Chelsea turn that around then in the second half, into the top half of the table. Palace still looking over their shoulder. See you soon.